This is a 1973 Saab Sonett 3. If you haven't seen one before, I don't blame you. Saab only made 10,000 Sonets, 8,000 Mark IIIs, and only 4,000 are estimated to still exist. That's why I'm driving out to the middle of nowhere to pick up a second one. I found this orange car on Marketplace and just had to have it. I need a parts car, and by all accounts, this one looks pretty good. It was $500, but I'm a shrewd negotiator. $250, and it was mine. As well as the trailer rental and braving a few hours in no man's land. This thing sat for 30 years, so getting it off the trailer was a bit of a challenge. All the tires just shredded under its own weight. Getting it up there with the backhoe probably didn't help either. To make matters worse, these cars use 9/16 wheel bolts, and I don't have any all-thread in that size, so swapping wheels is a pain. And with the body crumbling under the jack, yeah, this thing isn't happy. But, with a little creativity, and some extra wheels I had lying around, and moving some cars around, and some come-along MacGyvering, it came off. So, here it is, new toy. Let's tear into it. Preliminary inspection says it has most of the parts that make me happy. It has the headlight bezels I'm missing, and the fog lights too. No grill though, luckily Old Blue came with one. Nose ain't broke, that's the most important part. Hood is smashed, that makes two, but I think my old one is savable. Engine bay is immaculate aside from a hot rod switch on the strut bar reservoir thing. My money is on a start switch. Not only does it still have most of its paint, it even has its paint code sticker. Talk about uncommon. Wheels are good too. Can't wait to curb those. The door is stuck, I'll deal with that later. Underneath is a real mess. Shame the exhaust didn't make it. It's total carnage under there. Not much of the floor is even left. This all looks great. Because it even has the radio and the dash. And, you'll never believe this, the headliner. And a good jack. And a spare tire. And a lot of junk in here. But as you can see, the entire chair moves. Because the floor is just that gone. It's like one of those bugs that gets eaten inside out by one of those, like, parasites. In case you're wondering, yes, that is the seat. On the ground. Well, almost on the ground. It's pretty close. Yeah, this thing is toast. Maybe you could fix it, but that would have been such an undertaking that I don't have the skills for it, and anyone who did have the skills would have to start from scratch or sacrifice another car, so I don't feel too bad chopping this one up. So if you're unfamiliar with these cars, which, let's face it, there's only a few thousand, probably are, they have a they have a tub-style construction, which is similar to like a VW Beetle. Either way, it's basically like a unibody, but without the body. That's what the fiberglass is for. So the internal structure is actually very complicated, and around the floor area, where your feet go, that entire structure is basically a hollow tube with some, there's some structures inside of it. But the point is, that's kind of all there is to the car. The front end and rear end are sort of just single pieces of sheet metal, so they don't really rust, except when they're like that far gone. But the middle always does, because it just captures water. Problem is, the middle is so important and so complicated that once the middle goes, the whole car is gonna toast. And that's the case with this one. But I have a crazy idea. And I'll bring it up right now, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I'm actually going to cut the rear half of this one off and put my blue one on there so I can have the not messed up front end on this one. I don't know. Just voicing my ideas. What do you think? But it's time to get some work done. Like clean the car and get the door open. The door is the harder part. It's stuck pretty bad. Problem is, I need to close it before I can open it. These Sonett doors are weird. They have a half cock where the door has been partially closed, but can't be actuated again until it's closed all the way. Let me remind you again how hard it is to push on a fiberglass door. You can't. But you can pull it closed with a come-along. Wait, that seems like it might work. Oh, finally, we did it. Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. But there were a couple screws. I'm required to take that off. And because it was pinned by the door, I could only lever it out of the way slightly. I couldn't get it completely off. After that, I had to remove the latch, not the latch, but the pull for the door. Just right here, 4 bolts, no problem. And then I had to get the little nubbin for the lock off. You know, you'd push or pull it, like every car has one. That's easy enough, because then you just gotta pop it out the sides using these holes, because it's got the typical little like double hook, you know, those fabric. I got no clue what they're called, but it was simple enough to pull this off. And despite being a little gross, it is in pretty good shape. Once I got that off, it was possible to get to these door bars, which are, well, they're not actually on all Sonets. Because this is a late model 73, it has some reinforcements, because these things are death traps. It also has these little, well, you'll see them here. It also has these, which mate with a peg on the bottom of the door. That's designed to keep it so it doesn't shift around so much when you get hit by something. Once I had the inner door panel off here, I was able to put a strap around that reinforcement bar and pull it closed with a ratchet, not a ratchet strap, what are those things called? A come-along. So I could actually get this to fully lock into the door, because, I mean, there was no way to move that from the outside or by hand. Once it was locked in, and we didn't have to worry about that intermediate stage, then, well, I sort of just held the latch open and kicked it. Now I'm going to clean out the inside, or at least this side of it anyway. And something's wrong with these doors. They're not opening as far as they should, so it's just one more thing, am I right? Like, look at that. That is the inside of the rocker. And if you notice, yeah, the seat fell through the floor. So I'm literally just, I have no shame. I'm just gonna cut this one in half and put my good body on the back of this one so I can use the good nose on it. But I really want to get to the rear open because, you know, why do I need to explain myself? I want to get the rear open. That I can pull it, and I can pull it, and I can pull it, but it just doesn't. Oh, it's so crunchy. So I have to pull this as hard as I fucking can. Like that, and then maybe it works. Oh, hey. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the inside of a Sonett. Oh my god, the gas struts even work. I mean, they're tired. But holy shit, they work. Oh my god. Look at all this moss. You have to get a better look at that. Look at these gas struts. Man, they have had a rough life. I really hope they don't fall and kill me right now. It's funny how much of an ecosystem is in this car, but I'm not gonna throw this stuff away just yet. I have some other plans for it, but you know what? You'll see. You'll see. So here's everything we pulled out of there. That piece of wood, useless. That thing, I don't know what it is. 2 antennas? Maybe. A fence post and some insulation, sure. And the battery strap, I think. But remember how I said we were gonna do something with all that moss? Well, it's time to do that something. Not today, sweetheart. I'm sorry. You are so adorable, though. I love you so much. It is hot as shit. I am not driving a Miata today. I want air conditioning, please. Battery. Soil. You know what they say, all good project cars come with a plant. I just wish mine came with something more interesting. But, you know, you gotta make do. I mean, obviously we are aware of how it got, you know, damaged, and then this thing got, you know, fallen off. But what I wasn't aware of until recently is just how rusty the brace was for the glass. Yeah, that's not good. But anyway, let's see if my moss survives. I'm just gonna get it on there with these vice grips. That just feels authentic. Let's try some of the switches. Maybe they've got something that'll let it have, like, you know, daylight running lights or something. Hazards. No. Okay, we'll try the keys then. I'm not sure how to turn the radio on either. Oh, holy shit, okay. Something just came on the dash. There's 2 lights on the dash, okay. Let's try just having some fun with it. Okay, we've got enough cranking amps. Holy shit. Oh, okay. Wow. Let's try something stupid. It has no gas, so... Alright guys, I think I'm gonna call it here. Obviously this thing ain't gonna start, let's be realistic, but it almost did. Or at least I like to tell myself that. I think I'm gonna leave this one off here because, you know, I've already accomplished my goal, and I'm ecstatic to learn that the electrical system works. Kinda, because if you don't know, my other car was butchered beyond... Yeah, my other car was not gonna work anytime soon. But this car, well, now that I've got a working example, I can pull this wiring harness and use it to build, you know, a modern one that doesn't use this disgusting glass fuses, which is going to be awesome. So the plan going forward is to get the blue engine. Shut up, bird. The plan going forward is to get the blue engine back together really fast, just to be done, and then start tearing this apart. But I know you guys are gonna be sick of this. I'm gonna go through this car with a fine-tooth comb. Like, I talk about automotive archaeology, but I'm gonna do it again. I know you just watched me take apart another Sonett, but this Sonett is a far better example, aside from the broken bits. It's a far better example of these cars, so I think it'll be much better to do the thorough deep dive, you know, into this car, because it's just more complete. Anyway, I am super excited. I'm also super gross. So, peace out. Catch you next time. I know this is an abrupt ending, but to answer my own question, yes, this thing was absolutely worth it.